Okay, here we are tonight, and so far there's nobody here. Oh well, we'll see if anybody comes in. If they don't, hey, I guess we'll go do something else. Alrighty. Well, for those that might be watching and not in the chat, so looks like everything's working. Alrighty. Why you run naked? How you doing? Yeah, thank you. Looks like it's gonna be me and you table dancing tonight. Here comes Samurai too. How you doing? Now we got a few more popping in here now. Carolina Foothills, how's it going, Bill? Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. You and the family. There's Mr. Mark. What's up, dude? Hey, Brian. Well, we kind of getting into swing of things again. We got the railroad empires, how we build them. Michael Connolly. Yeah, yeah. Bill up there in Canada said all is well. He's just busy. Adrian, how you doing? Have you been out to the new Trainmaster store yet? Yeah, I certainly hadn't made it out there yet. I can't seem to stay on that side of the state for some reason. Oh, I'm a little rusty, Mark. Okay. Yeah, we're starting to get people popping in now. Hey, Chris. Long time no talk. I guess the check kind of bounced on that, Chris. Yeah, I had to take some time off, Mark. Things were getting a little too hectic. Anyway, we're starting to kind of gear up. Yeah, Adrian said he needed to plan a trip. I can plan it. That don't mean it's going to happen for me. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, we're starting to get back into the season. Bill, of course, he's had his shows going all along, but he's gearing it back up again. Yeah, Chris says I have to execute the plan. Okay. Do I shoot him or just chop the head off? Oh, the Piedmont shows last week, yeah? Okay. Did you go? Because I didn't. I forgot all about it, be honest. I like they were having it same place over at the Galleria. Oh, okay, Chris. I can do both. No problem. Oh, you down here in Georgia, Carolina? But anyway, we got the Empires Railroad. How we build them. That's Robert and Andy this year. Like Bill said last night, they did their first show live, and the rest of them are going to be pretty much pre-recorded and posted on Saturdays. The Saturday that they would normally air a live show. And I think he's going to planning right now, tentatively, the last show will be live too for answering questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, if I take the back roads, I'll be in North Carolina. Mm, maybe an hour or less. Probably less. Go kind of towards the northeast. It's in Cartersville. Okay. Agent said it was in Cartersville this year. Was this 2 day show or just a 1 day show? I think the Piedmont show was usually a 2 day, Saturday and Sunday. Got another group was having a 1 day show, but that's, I call it a junk show. That's what everybody did. They brought all their junk and tried to sell it for gold. That was over in Gwinnett at Civic Center. I went to it one time and went, nah, I'm not coming back over here. Mm. Yeah, but anyway, Johnny Mall Train Talk Show right now scheduled for the first and third Thursdays of the month. There is something else that I'm involved in and trying to see what their schedule's going to be because I thought they were going to do the second and fourth, and so far they're doing the first and third now. So I'm not sure. I might switch mine or I might tell them, that's okay since I've already switched it once to. Uh, Agent says 2 days. It was one, but they added 2 days at the last minute. Okay. I think that's the same one they used to have at the Galleria. That was Saturday and Sunday. I think it was, 19 that they had Mile Railroading Magazine guys here at that show. Hey, Dan. He just popped in. Oh, and y'all see anybody, YouTube, Facebook, if you think would be a good guest, you can always go to milerailroading.com and email Bill with their name. Any information about getting in touch with them so you can take a look at them. Yeah, Adrian, yeah, the Gwinnett show. You're right, that one was junk. And I don't know why, but in StreamYard, my camera blanks out for a second. At least on my end, y'all just see a little quick blip on the screen. But something was brought up in Bill's show last night. I think would probably be an interesting topic, and that's auto auto auto. Was talking about the paint article that they have in Mile Railroad Craftsman, talking about how we lost flow quill testers. I never was a big fan of testers, even back when I was growing up building models. I didn't like the way it painted and all. I've tried True Coat, and I wasn't happy about that. I'm not. I think it might have been the way I prepped that it still didn't come out. But like Ralph and a lot of other people say, Mig and AK have got some really good paints. Military modelers, especially their streaking paints and all. Those work very well. So, what's y'all's opinion of that? Or who even uses AK or MiG? I know we got a hobby shop over here in Marietta. It's a little over hour drive for me, but they got a pretty big selection of the AK and MiGs and of Vallejo paints. When and if I can get over there, I always hit the paint department, see what all they got, and pick up a few that I've run out of, get those put in. And I'm not sure, is my sound working okay? Because I ain't showing nothing here. Let me go check my settings real quick. The Windows headshot, yep. Doggone it. All right, that sounds working. Let's see if we can get this other one going. All right, just my recorder wasn't set right. It had no sound, but that's okay. It does now. Every time Windows updates on my machines, it screws up several of my software. I have to go in and reset everything. Yeah, I think that's one Hobbytown, Adrian. I think that's what Kennesaw or something. It's a movie theater over there. What is that? Barrett Parkway. It's off of. uh, while you run that, can switch to sign language. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm kind of limited on what sign language I know, and that's only used in certain situations. Yeah, I think that's Barrett Parkway, Adrian. And it probably is Hobbytown. Got to cut across the state and catch 515 down to 75. In fact, I think I get off the last exit at 515 so I don't have to get on 75. Come across. catch it that way. That's a big hobby shop over there. Don't have a whole lot in trains, but they got a lot in paint and malls. Yeah, Buford? Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He moved. He was down there on Satellite Boulevard, right behind Gwinnett Mall. I've been to his store a few times. He had very little in trains or paints. Then he actually sold. Somebody else bought the shop, and they moved it. I can actually get to it from 985 now. Yeah, Barrett Parkway. Yeah, I don't get over there too often, but well, I do. I'm usually in there roaming around. I go look at a little bit of everything, every department in there, except for the gaming department. I have no interest for that. Hey, Ari, how you doing? He just popped in. Yeah, also that Hobby Town in Buford. I haven't been to that one since they moved, and he sold out. So I have no idea if he's any bigger or what. And just exactly what is he carrying? There was one of the guys I think that was working at the other one in Gwinnett. I think he's the one that bought it because the guy that originally owned it, he stayed with him for a little while to help him get up and running. Yeah, I work out close to old train master. Yeah, Sparky just slipped in, and John he come in too. How you doing? Been a while. Yeah, Adrian. In fact, one of the guys who worked at Hobby Town over in off of Barrett is he's one of the Piedmont people. Yeah, we're here. Don't know how live we are because I'm the only one here on the panel. Anybody wants to come in, the link's there in the post. Pop on in. So I guess none of y'all been using any of the new paints like MIG or AK or Vallejo. Nobody said anything about how they like them or not. I mean, I've done a few of the Vallejo. I like them, and I've got some of the. I can't remember if it's MIG or AK. It might be AK, but some of their streaking works good. uh, there were projects, Sparky, but nothing in modeling or anything like that. Just been doing having to fool with trust account, estate account, lawyer, the usual good stuff. Been hitting a few little hiccups in that stuff, chasing paperwork and all. While you run naked, he's used doesn't haven't airbrushed. Where to go? Anything since flow quill last. When you do the Vallejo, you might want to knock the pressure down just a little bit to start out, see how it works in your gun. And then you have to just play with it. Yeah, Sparky said True Color is okay, but some of the first paints they had were a bit too thin. You had to put on two coats, and then it was a little too thick. Yeah, I mean they got two different kinds of True Color, and you really have to kind of figure out which one's for what, for plastic, for wood, for whatever. Ken Pryor, how you doing? Yeah, the Vallejo Naked for I like the paint. It does good. It looks good. It goes on pretty good too. It gives you a nice even coat. Yeah, Adrian's saying a lot of the new brands of paints are nice. He tries them here and there. I think they finally gotten around to where the newer paints they're starting to use more paint pigments in them, which is what really improves them. Ari said he's used some of the AK wood stains for road crossings and had great results. Yeah, I like the crud. I just had the name. They're out there in Canada. They make the alcohol stains. They work real well. If somebody wants to refresh my memory on the name of those people. Really nice people, man, woman. Hunterline, thank you, Sparky. They've got some really nice stains. I've used a number of those, and I've got a couple of their bridges I really want to build, put them together. They got some nice looking bridges. I like the way they put their kits together. Sparky, for those who are just listening, he said Hunterline stains. He really liked the Hunterline stains, but they are made just around the corner from his house, so he might be a little biased. Yeah, maybe a little. Won't ask what kind of discount you get. Unfortunately, they had to do like everybody else and raise their price up a little bit. Wasn't too bad. I think they went up about a buck and a half. Yeah, Sparky, they last a long time. They do a great job. They really do. You can go to their website too, because not too many websites give you tips and tricks on using their products too much. And they got some good tips and tricks on their website about how to use them. Dan, they were saying the increase was because of the increase of the cost of alcohol. That was just getting, they couldn't absorb that price as it was going up. So I didn't know they lost their U.S. warehouse. Of course, when I did order some from them, it came from Canada, not U.S. I usually try and catch them at train shows and get it there. While you run naked for Bollinger Energy Scale Trains has a nice stain selection. Yeah, I'll have to go look at that. They are online, right? Michael Lupino, how you doing? Well, like I said, anybody wants to be on the panel, the link's posted in the post. Go over and catch that. Just click on it. It should bring you right on in. Big Bill said he'd probably jump in, but he must be taking a nap. You run naked at Bollinger stains. Is that alcohol or what? Do you know? I say you think it's alcohol based. Okay. No, it's not going to be weekly, Sparky. It'll be every other week, twice a month. Be the first and the third Thursday for right now. But there's something else I'm involved in, and they're kind of doing their thing at the same time. So I thought they were going to be the second and fourth, but I was talking to them the other day, and they said, "Well, no," and I'd already rescheduled this for the first and third. So I'll have to think about what I'm going to do. I may switch this one, switch doing this to the second and fourth Thursday. So, but for right now, I'll keep it to first and third. That'll be twice a month. Well, Ken, I tell you what, a lot of us, or a lot of people, are using the Logitech C920. It's a USB webcam. Works great. You should be able to. Prices actually come down on them pretty fair amount. So you have to check and see. But so far, it's been a good, reliable camera. I've been using it now for, I think I've had this one about 3, maybe 4 years. In fact, I think it does a lot better job than ones that are built into laptops and stuff. But, whatever camera you get, just go in the settings and turn the autofocus off. That's always been a pain in the neck trying to get that autofocus to work right. Because sometimes just the pattern design on your shirt will throw that thing off. They'll just sit there and go crazy trying to focus, especially if it's a plaid shirt. Sitting there trying to focus on different squares. So, anybody got any train shows or anything starting back up in your areas? Adrian said the Piedmont had their train show last weekend here in Georgia. So, I tell you what, I got to turn my camera off a few minutes, but I'm still here. I'm still watching the chat. So, don't think you can misbehave just because you can't see me. If I know why you run naked for, if he thinks I'm gone, he'll try and start a spitball fight. Yeah. Yeah. Why you run naked said he goes to train show every day on eBay. All right. Dear Ari.
Hey, Johnny, how are you?
All right. Took your camera a second to catch up there.
We good to go? Let's see, we're there.
Sparky, YouTube always streams a 720p on live shows. And once the show's over and they do their checks and everything and then post it back up as a recorded show, it gets posted at 1080p then. But they don't broadcast in 1080. 720 is the highest they'll go.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, how are you? So it seems like train shows are coming back. I got an announcement from one of my buddies that he runs a show in Port Huron, and they're, I think now in October, I think they're doing it. The Blue Water Show, which is a good show in this area.
Yeah, okay.
I'm looking forward to. We got Crossroads Village, which runs a narrow gauge railroad for Christmas. We're really excited to do that. Get the baby on a train ride and do some caroling and drink some hot chocolate. Not that I'm pushing Fallout, but definitely something to look forward to in the next
Yeah.
coming months.
We got a place what east of Atlanta. They well before COVID they were open I think 2 weekends a month, and they were the rideables.
Mm.
Was at 1.5 gauge or something like that. And
Sometimes I've heard it called quarter scale.
yeah, but they got a pretty good size area, and you get a pretty good ride out of it. And they'll, while you're riding, they'll do switching from one track to the next, and got a few bridges you go over. You know, it's big enough to have to be careful about the wildlife. Occasionally, they have to stop and get a turtle off the track, and stuff like that.
So the one at Crossroads, they run a Rio Grande steam engine, and it was a CSX or CNO narrow gauge to a small like surface coal mine, and it had a balloon track on it, and they just equipped it with a spring switch, and it's I don't know, it's a little over a mile, and it goes about 15 miles an hour, and goes from the fairgrounds out to this balloon track, hits automatic and sends it back, and it's really cool. It's cool
Yeah.
to see that old equipment, original early 1910 passenger cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. And they got like two or three cabooses. They got an old, I think it's a World War I U.S. Army steam locomotive, which is pretty cool, narrow gauge. So it went overseas and then came back.
Yeah, that'd be a good railroad to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they do like a rail fan day early in the spring, and people from all over come out to photograph it. And it has road crossings still that go through town, so they're hitting the high road and using real grade crossings, and people stop all along the line to take photos, and they'll do run bys, and it's neat. It's the smell
Okay.
of it. They got a live loading water tower and coal, and just
Huh.
cool.
Yeah.
And I think the train ride's $8. It's super affordable.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, that club down there, I mean, their trackage isn't that long, I don't think. They probably somewhere between a third and a half a mile. Well, probably closer to a third of a mile. They only got a couple of acres.
So why run naked? I've been doing a lot of finalizing my tracks and doing putting the ballast down, gluing the tracks, doing some wiring. I've had some of my track that I haven't that's like one or two wires for like a huge distance, and I have had no trouble with it. But I'm like finally putting it down. I can show you the area that I've been working in. So pretty much straight down that line into my yard. I finalized the ballast. I'm working on my paper plant here, and I got to elevate that area and put cork around it and get that. I want the track to be embedded, so I gotta lift this whole area up quite a bit. And then my power plant down there working. I got to touch all this up. I was gonna put a drop track there, and I gotta patch that all back in. But that's kind of what I've been working on. Just due to COVID and life, I got to find small, cheap projects to keep the thing moving. Yeah, that's the Walters kit. It's the Superior paper. It's awesome. I need a couple more buildings for it. Um, I'm modeling it as a recycle paper plant, so they bring in cellulose material and paper fiber, and then they pulp it down and press it into specialty papers. And it's I'm modeling after a Domitar paper factory in Port Huron, Michigan.
Jason just popped in. He's at work, so
No, Jason's working. He can't pop on.
Uh, he probably went back in the storeroom, got behind some boxes just to be able to pop in and say hey.
Yeah. I used to do these jobs where I used to be an environmental scientist, and I'd sit on water wells in these like big rock quarries and fertilizer factories and chemical plants, and just have to pump water for 24 hours and measure it. And I'd get on my phone or like get on a laptop and just watch like Hunger Games and like train videos. And me and my boss would just be sitting there with our feet on the dash. One would sleep for 12 hours and wake up, and then the other would take over and get a lot of YouTube time in.
Oh yeah.
So you were talking about those paints. I got I guess it's an enamel wash for wood. AK, and so I get that to fix. It worked. It worked really well. I coated it once and looked at it, and it had that like fresh tie look. This is on the what is it called, Blair lines, wind crossings.
Yeah.
And then the second coat, it turned out really nice. Yeah, I can show you. I had it sitting right there. So this is kind of darker, but it still has the grain in it.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's going to lock right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so one of those areas where it's been heavily oiled or freshly sealed. I'm trying to think what else I've used. I've been trying a bunch of them, a bunch of the newer paints. Some success. It's probably all on my end. We've had issues with trying to thin them out, and then it just turns the snot in your nozzle, and then you have to tear everything apart and clean it out and mixing tester's fluid or mixing the what's the other one? Oh, I think Vallejo. They make a full line of airbrush ready stuff,
Yeah, they do.
and I've used some of that. I try not to mix it because it will turn to snot.
All right, John, we'll catch you later. You have a good one.
Kind of been researching, thinking about building another layout, and going complete iron ore. And found a railroad up in the UP of Michigan that goes to Marquette and has an iron ore dock. I might try to buy the Walthers HO because it's a 4-track, and I think 4 N scale tracks would fit on 2 HO size.
More than likely.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out. The kit's like $110 though, so it's kind of a pricey gamble.
Yeah.
But I could still use the bridging and stuff out of it if it doesn't completely work, which would be nice.
Well, you can always scratch build it.
I thought about that too. I thought about maybe the upper bends where the ore drops is steel, and then the chutes come down, but the whole bottom part of it's concrete in the prototype. Now the model for Walthers, which isn't far from that area, they modeled the Lake Michigan or Lake Superior ore dock. It has the steel I beams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ore trains are expensive, and nobody's making the ore jennies in N scale right now. So I don't know how. I'm still in the research phase because if I can't get the rolling stock, I'll have to scratch build, and that would be an endeavor because they had 1,000 ore cars, I think is what they use on a daily basis, rotating in and out. Each train is 110 empty and 80 full. and they do 3 runs 3 times a day. They do to 2 mills, to the yard, to the marshalling yard, from the marshalling yard to what they call the boat, which is where they shove it to the freighter, and they run at 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 11 o'clock twice a day. So 3 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 11, 3 in the afternoon, 7 at night, 11 at night.
Very selective compression.
Yeah. So when they were talking last night about that Dremel contest, I thought to myself, well, I could take some um, old cool cars and really hack them up and make those Jennies.
Well, while you run that, you said 3D print them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you know somebody's got a 3D printer.
Yeah, that might be the way to do it.
Well, call the guy out there that we were talking about last night. What, Arizona?
Oh, I'm sure he'd love to do that, especially if I have to buy, I would probably need 200 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the more he'd run, the less it'd cost him, so the price would probably come down. So,
Yeah, that's true. And
yeah.
what's nice about it, it's a small railroad. It's 30 miles complete, and they have I can't remember how many hundreds of miles of rail because of the
Yeah.
yards. But there's books, there's movies. They just that Thorn Apple series. I don't know if you seen those guys before, Johnny.
Uh,
Thorn Apple, they go out with their drones and they fly these railroads complete, and it's like 3 years to make a video because they do a complete history of where all the cars come from, the interchanges, a really good historical. So if you pick the day that they've flown that drone, you have all the information you need to build a railroad. They give you all the locomotives, all the rolling stock, all the destinations.
yeah.
Do a heck of a job, and they did this for this little. Uh, it's the railroad's called the LS&I, Lake Superior and Ishpeming, and it's owned by Cliff Mineral Resources. It's owned by a mine. They own the ore boats, they own the railroad, and they own the mine. It's all one source. The only
Hmm.
thing they don't own is the smelter that they go to.
Yeah. Eric, I just said that to wake you up, see if you still coherent. Yeah, you say Arizona, and Eric's going, Arizona? What? What'd you say? Huh? What about Arizona?
Yeah,
It's hot, it's dry.
it's hot. No, my grandma lives there.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all of her brothers and sisters live there now. They're all retired there. My great aunt Ed said, "Hey, come on down for your birthday or for our birthday because there's twins." And my grandma called my grandma and say happy birthday. She's like, going to Arizona for my birthday, and I was like, oh, that's good. And she never came back.
Yeah.
She found a guy down there she liked dancing with, and that was the rest of that was history.
Yeah.
She's gosh, she's in her upper 80s. She's like 87 years old. Still gets out in buggies on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, there's a drag strip not too far from the house. So my son and I went out there on a Friday night. Friday nights is drag what you bring. And this woman, she was in her 70s. She get out there in her Lincoln Continental, run that sucker down through there. She get 87 or so out of it, a quarter mile. But she did good coming off that light, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
she was good on that one.
I love seeing it. I like seeing women racing. I used to go to when I worked in Terre Haute at the power plant. They had uh, they had, I don't know if it's called quarter or midget quarter track racing. So these are like the souped up go karts for kids, and they got the fin like the funny car fins on them. And I think they were like kindergartner or first graders, and they're beating the crap out of each other, going around the track, smacking into him, and then flipping. And uh, this one person wins, and they get out, pops her hair, and all this hair falls out. And I was like, whoa, that's like a 6-year-old girl. And I was like, good for her. That's sweet. I was like, kind of hope my baby's a gearhead. I said, I'd have no problem getting her a go kart. Uh-oh, I gotta get that.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one in there. Where's this guy coming from? I keep blocking him, I thought.
Are we on Twitch?
No. No, he's coming in through YouTube.
Oh, so it's called. So Eric's got
I'll
it for midgets.
refresh.
Okay.
Oh, he's still here.
Gentlemen,
Hey, Ralph, how are you?
I'm all right. I was just wondering whether I had my settings right.
Yeah, you look good. Sound good.
This guy must have something on there that's keeping us from blocking him.
I got them blocked, but I don't know how to. If you can get, I don't know if I don't have settings to get that thing off. Unless I can do it as a moderator on the YouTube.
Oh, shoot. I'm doing it in the wrong place.
Okay.
I guess you have got him blocked because I can't get to it. He's grayed out.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sitting here. I was trying to block him on StreamYard. But yeah, that seemed to take care of it.
Okay. But yeah, anyways, those the LS&I, they're the locomotives. They're like old Burlington Northerns. They used to have some old Santa Fe's because they run all old Elcos. Really cool power, super cool power. They got some GE leases now that are more modern, but in the olden days, they just.
So Ari, I noticed you were showing Johnny a new product, the wash.
Yeah.
Is that enamel based?
It is enamel base. I was
And
kind
you
of nervous at first to use it, but no troubles.
and you're putting that through an airbrush?
No, I brush that on wood. Yeah,
Good.
no, I don't. I won't airbrush enamels.
Well, the thing is, those washes are not made from strictly paints. They also have powders in them, so it clogs up.
Mm-hmm.
So what's new and exciting, John? Haven't seen or heard from you for a while, man.
Nah, I just been busy with stuff.
I see guys in the chat I haven't seen for a while. Michael Connolly, Michael Lombertino.
Yeah, Chris Red was
Adrian
around here.
Jackson.
Yeah, Bill said, good, more Canadians. He's starting to feel a little lonely.
Yeah, I haven't caught Bill in a while.
Yeah.
Fellow CN modeler.
I've been turning my files upside down looking for a set of Via decals, uh, that it's the VS the swoosh steam, the green with the yellow stripes.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've got them. Damned if I can find them. I've got
Ralph.
an F40 PH that I want to repaint in the Via scheme. But
Ralph.
yo,
It's been a long time. I'm only going to do it once. Look behind the toolbox.
Look behind the toolbox. Well, the toolbox ain't there anymore, John. Yeah.
Oh, there's a big bill.
It's about time that guy from Brooklyn Railroad got here.
Yeah, he had a good interview last night.
Yeah.
It was nice. There was some good insight on like how the process works to get your stuff submitted and like what it takes to get on some of those things. I got something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're naked. You're right. You want to find them, buy some more, and they'll show up. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So one of my old model railroad buddies is a master model railroader, and I was cleaning up my basement, and I found this. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, CNO.
It's CN. So CNO. This is a rules and publication book he had duplicated. I mean, all the rules are in here. This thing is, oh gosh, 65 pages. And it's done in the old-timey font. You guys can see that or not.
There you go.
But this is how to operate his railroad. These are all the rules. So when you go over to his house to operate on his railroad, he hands you this and says, you need to read this before your train comes up. And he's not joking. So this is Newport News to Clifton, Norfolk Terminal Division, Richmond Division, Clifton Forge, timetable number 142. And it's effective Sunday, August 8th, 1965. So that's the time of his railroad. And it has all the guys that helped build his railroad. They all have positions on the railroad. So there's Mike Burgett, my buddy right there. He's the superintendent of Clifton Forge. And then Mesa's the terminal division. And so all the guys that like were there from day one got these senior leader positions on his railroad. And I thought this thing was awesome. So if you aspire to be like next level model railroader, master model railroader, that's kind of like what the standard was when he got it.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah, Bill said that's just a lot of rules to break.
And what was the year? 68?
1965, Sunday, August 8th.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you that was his grandparents' wedding day.
Well, you can guarantee that those rules, a lot of them have been changed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here you go. Now we got Australia in here. Baloo. We're doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah. I can tell you, Eric, it was fun when you go over there operate and you pull out your rule book out of your back pocket and figure out what location you are, what your speed limit is, like if you can do that switch or not without calling the dispatch radio, because he's got a full working CTC machine in his house. It's upstairs disconnected. And it has the phone numbers, man. When you pick up that phone, it calls upstairs, or if there's a tower, it'll call a different number and then route it over to whoever's operating the tower. It's out of this world.
His last name's not de Blasi, is it?
No, it's Burkett. So he
also has a CTC machine in his living room.
Mike builds the components for him. That's like his side hobby. So he started his life out as a signal maintainer for CN, and now he's like supervisor of engineering of all of engineering for CN. And
Cool.
he somehow has maintained staying in Pontiac in the yard, refused to move. They wanted, when they absorbed Illinois Central, they wanted to move down somewhere in the Gulf. And he said, I'll have to move my whole house with me. Like he said, I'm not leaving this thing behind, or just move and keep his house as a museum, basically, so people can go and operate on his days off, because and the thing's an institution now, And you can find some of his videos. He does short segments, but he did a lot for Model Railroader, for signal spacing, for how they design telephone poles. So like he did this big clinic on how far off from the track, how to place the guy wires, how to do a turn and a bend. If there's a bridge, how they like turn it and pipe it under the bridge and then pop it back up.
Yeah.
So he did all these presentations. This was 2005, 2006. So it's been a while. But all that content's out there. And he's got a video. He's got a what's great model railroads. He's got a whole video dedicated to it. That Alan, what's his name? Alan something. Is it Alan Keller? Is that right?
Could be.
Yeah, I think Alan Keller came over and made a video of it.
Could be. He's another MMR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Bill said he's got that video.
I wish I had that video. his railroads, it was so inspiring that every time I went over to work on it, I'd work till like 10 o'clock at night, and then I'd come home, and then I'd work on my railroad till 1 or 2 in the morning, just because I had to like get my vision out that I saw when I was working at his house, onto mine.
Yeah, Blue, aka Andrew. He said he just had some major cancer surgery, but he doesn't have to do chemo. That's good. Eric says he has almost all the AK videos from a long time ago before YouTube.
And that's the way to do it. That's where all the inspiration. I watch a lot of YouTube, but when I want inspiration, I go to a book. I still open up, whatever the railroad is. I got 100 book of train books upstairs, and just open it up, find a page, and see if I can duplicate it. See if I have the cars. Like I'll love to find the cars, and if I can match up the number to the car, I get even more. I'm just like, oh, this is great. I have that car. I own that one. I have that locomotive.
Andrew, Andy's up to the usual, about 5'2".
Or 4'14".
I'll get a phone call later.
Is the dock scene finished there, Ralph? Did you do your pour yet?
Say that again.
I said, is your I said dock, but it's probably not your lift. Is your lift finished?
Oh, yeah, the dock scene. I still have to do the water.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a little bit of wiring left to do. But other than that, the only other thing to do is to figure out the reversing loop. It's been a pain in the ass. It worked. Then I changed a piece of track work. Then it didn't work. I changed it back to the way it was originally. It still didn't work. Now it's not working still. So I have to rewire it and go from there.
Is there a bunch of turnouts in between in the loop?
All the turnouts are done. The loops are done, but still, it doesn't want to work. Keeps shorting out.
I had that issue on one of my return loops. It's a big balloon track, but I had a bunch of turnouts after it, and it fire the DCC system on and it'd kick right off. And I basically just isolated everything to the north of the turnouts, and it worked just fine. Just cut out all the other rail if you have to, or just cut gaps like crazy, I guess.
Right. Well.
Is all the rail permanent right now, or is it?
Yeah, I started to lay down the ballast on the rail, and that became a chore. I was getting so keyed up on doing it, and then I realized, well, no, I have to do this first. I have to do that first. So, 2 steps forward, 1 back, and then 1 forward again. Basically the way it worked.
I think that's the way it works for most of us.
All right, Bill, we'll catch you later because, yeah, we're already over the 1 hour mark. So.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Andrew raised a bunch of money for the kids.
Yeah, they cut all of his hair off again.
At least he didn't just give it away.
Yeah. No, he lets the Cubs do that, Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago they did. I think they did pretty good. It wasn't as good as it is this time, but Adrian said live frog problem, Ralph.
No, it's not a frog problem. It's a reversing loop. AR1 was handling it at one point. Then I changed some track work ahead of it, and it hasn't been right since.
Huh. Well, I tell you what, we're about to hit 1 hour 10 minutes now, so people are starting to drift out. So I guess we'll call this one done.
Yep. Welcome
Good
back,
to see
Johnny.
you.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good to see everybody again. And we'll be back. When will we be back? 21st, October 21st. When I'll be back again. So let's see. I think October 16th is when Railroad Empires will be dropping their video. Be on Saturday. And I'm sure Big Bill will be having another show sometime this month. Just ain't got anything planned quite yet. He's got a few people I know he's contacting. So we shall see you guys. What did I say? 21. October 21.
Okay, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, y'all have a good evening.
Yeah.
And let's see if I can end this thing the right way. Y'all stick around. I'm just going to bump you out for a second.
Okay.
And let me get over here. Phew. Gotta get back to used to these buttons again. All right, y'all have a good weekend, and we shall catch y'all later. See you.